We just saw another Stephen Curry masterpiece. The Golden State Warriors traveled to Houston to open up their first round series against the Rockets, and once again Steph Curry silenced the Toyota Center with another spectacular shooting display that had Rockets fans in utter disbelief. The Rockets ran a very similar defensive scheme compared to their last matchup against these very same Warriors, where they held Steph Curry in check. He was shut down for only 3 points. However, 2 weeks later, we saw very different results. The Rockets sold out to stop a Steph Curry three-point barrage, knocking Steph off his spots, but eventually Steph adapted his game as he used the Rockets' defensive aggression to his advantage. Early in the game, Steven Adams got stuck on a switch. He had to guard Steph on the perimeter, and I'd say a decade ago, Steph would probably get Adams rocking on the back foot and then basically lull him to sleep and splash a step-back three-pointer in his face. However, this time Steph works a little bit of a hesitation dribble and then glides to the basket for the layup. In another sequence, Steph ran a give and go with Tari Eason and Amen Thompson rushing to defend the perimeter to contest what would be a jump shot, but instead Steph splits the double team to attack the rim with ease. And this is where Steph becomes more of a versatile scorer. While his jump shot is obviously the best tool in his toolbox, his handle is still up there amongst the best ever, and this allows him to get good looks inside, especially later in his career, to where in this game in particular, his first 5 baskets were inside the three-point line. Towards the end of the first half, Steph had some space and he knocked down 3 jump shots, scoring 8 points to push the lead past double figures. First was this weird floater from 14 feet out, which was over the much smaller Fred VanVleet. Another was in semi-transition, this time again against FVV, who tried to attack Steph early, only for Steph to take a couple of side dribbles, splash his first three-pointer of the game. The final jump shot was off of a side out where there seemed to be a miscommunication between Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green, only for Steph to cash a three-point shot from the logo. And going into halftime, the Dubs were up 13, playing suffocating defense as the Rockets were held to just 34 points. As the second half continued on, you would see this aggressive perimeter defense, but evidently it didn't matter. Steph began to find even a sliver of space and punish the Rockets, including this demoralizing three-pointer over the taller Jalen Green to push the lead past 20 points. And just when the Houston Rockets were making a furious comeback in the fourth quarter where they cut the lead to only 4 points, Steph splashes a 3 from 34 feet away to essentially snuff out that Houston comeback attempt. Once again, I want to preface that the Rockets did not play poor defense by any means. They were in contact with Steph when he was off ball, and this is simply just great defense, but even better offense. When you have great shot makers, as great as a defensive look might be, it simply doesn't matter. And the Warriors have that between Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. And to talk about Jimmy Butler, he was just as impactful for the Warriors as Steph was. Typically, Jimmy Butler is a little bit of a do-it-all machine. He scores, he defends, and he also creates for others. And in this game, he did all 3 of those. There were times Jimmy Butler was scoring at will, whether it was a jump shot with defenders draped all over him in Tari Eason and Amen Thompson, or him just cashing a three-pointer in the face of Amen Thompson. And while the scoring production was fantastic for the Warriors, let's also talk about his impact not just as a scorer, but as a shot creator, because he created so many good looks for his teammates. And to go into some details, I mean, there was a couple of great looks where he was able to find Steph Curry cutting on a backdoor cut for the easy lay-in. He later found Pods in the corner off of a steal that he created. And also, when he was driving to the rim, he noticed Santos over in the left corner and was able to hang in the air just long enough to dish out the pass for what would be a wide open corner three-pointer. Other times, I mean, his defense has just been so good, because when he's playing in rotation, he gets into the passing lanes and was able to get around Sengun for a huge steal where Draymond's able to recover it and basically is able to set up the game-sealing dunk which Jimmy was able to punch home. And remember, ever since Jimmy Butler landed in the Bay, the Golden State Warriors have had the best defensive unit in the association. I absolutely expect some adjustments to be made for the Rockets because really they need to find a way to get their backcourt going, because between Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, they combined for just 7 of 34 for just 17 points. And again, I really believe that they have the defensive scheme to limit the Warriors and squeeze the life out of them sometimes, but they cannot always depend on fast break layups or easy looks at the rim created by their defense. They're going to have to operate in the half court. And in game 1, we simply did not see that. So I really do expect Ime Udoka to take advantage of these extra couple of days that he has between games 1 and 2 to figure out a game plan to get his backcourt going, because I thought they played pretty good defense. It's just that their offense didn't match their defensive intensity. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can the Rockets make this a series, or will Steph and Jimmy continue to wreak havoc on this Rockets defense?